I'll call the meeting to order. Would you please stand and salute the flag? I pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. To the meeting. And next thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the last meeting. And I thought they were good. Wasn't much to them.
Mr. Chair, I wonder, there was some controversy over our last meeting and how we don't have a video recording of the last meeting.
You don't?
No, it was a clerical mistake. Well, there was a new process for opening the meeting because we've had people spamming us with,
Well, the problem probably came from me having to give Justin host things. So
So it went back and
the
forth.
minutes came from my recollections to Jessica.
right.
I made notes on the agenda and gave it to
And
Jessica.
I have no problem, I personally have no problem with the minutes as they are written. And I think they're an accurate reflection. But there was a lot of conversation about the lack of a video record of our meeting in social media this past week. And some of it was not very neighborly. And so what I would suggest, just to give everybody an opportunity who might have been at that meeting and anyone would like to review the minutes, if we've got folks in the audience or on Zoom, anyone who would like to review the minutes before we approve them, and reflect on their
I might
accuracy.
be wrong to say that, these are our minutes, these are our these are our meetings
Yes,
as select board members.
yes,
And essentially, the minutes need to contain the motions and the votes. And that's it.
Yep.
And anything that we want to have in there that's pertinent. So I put the notes together and Justin chimed in with anything that he saw other than what I did
right,
or remembered.
right.
And that's how, we just had to
I
retake the
completely
select board
agree.
class.
It seems to me that there are a bunch of trial balloons that have been floated that will be easily deflated if we ask anyone in the audience who was here at our last meeting if there's anything that these minutes do not reflect from the meeting. And then I think that will put that issue to bed.
Anybody want to see the minutes?
Would anyone like to see the minutes?
Read them.
I read them.
Okay.
But I wasn't here, I zoomed it.
Okay.
When we could get in, I must say that, we had trouble getting into, like, last 2 weeks, I wanna say last week's, but it's really the last selectmen's
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
It took a long time for us to get in on it.
Was that because you were waiting for approval for somebody to let you in?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
Because
that's,
I was sitting up here and it takes a while to try to do everything
I'm
and
just-
keep
I'm-
track.
I'm-
Or if Justin had
Waiting
taken
on
over
stating
controls,
That.
yeah,
that-
well, and
for them to see
unfortunately,
it, so.
that's because the additional steps we have to make in order to prevent people from, taking over our meeting.
Yeah, I heard that part of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a memorable one.
We had company, the company was more fun, believe me. They were cousins.
Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to comment or see the
Well-
minutes before we proceed? Then hearing none, I make a motion, we accept the minutes as they have been presented.
Second.
There's a motion by Kent, and a second by Mark to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor? And department reports.
We have no departments.
We have no departments. Have somebody be a department here.
Okay.
No, I have raffle tickets for the fundraiser for the academy.
So we can take that in public.
Next, select board reports.
Well, I have a to-do list. I was kind of hoping that the town manager would be here to answer some questions. Because, we did have, some follow-up questions from our last meeting, right? Which was, did the data go to the auditor from the accountant, Mr. Roy? The auditor stated that he would be willing to do an audit in December. He had some openings if he received the data from Mr. Roy. And there, Justin agreed that he would follow up with Mr. Roy to see that that would be expedited in a reasonable way. And speaking of that, there's also another to-do, which would be, have all the invoices cleared now? Can we have an end-of-year report?
He sent that,
We got one.
Okay, I must have missed that one. Was that sent to all
sent
of us?
that, yes, to all of us with the agenda and his, update.
Well, then I'll review that. Thank you for the
Have a
correction.
copy of it if you want.
Yeah, that would actually be helpful if you have it. Okay, and then we're expecting an engineering report from the Anabescook Dam. And that was promised during the month of September. So we're halfway through the month. We're looking for a feasibility report. Where is that? Fourth one is, a while back, we had a conversation about, the police department's, cooperation or not cooperation or flexible cooperation with, immigration's customs and enforcement. And during that conversation, the police chief made a commitment to tell us when there was sort of any incidences in town where they had a choice or there was a potential for cooperation that involved immigration. And I'm hoping that he could, at his next available time, give us some information on,
Court, monthly report.
yeah, whether there've been any incidences, I don't know. On a lighter note, we had a meeting of the Economic Development Committee. And we have the Apple Fest, event, on our agenda as a result of that. And we also had a conversation to discuss some of our sort of preliminary budgeting for, the TIF funds, and how that is going. And I think we're probably going to come back to that if anyone is interested in how the TIF money is allocated and, spent kind of long-term over the 20-year, 30-year period of the TIF thing. That's kind of what we were talking about. And then we also had a conversation about, at the Trails Committee, we have the finalizing of the conversation about our grant application. The drop dead due date for the grant application is coming. Is it Friday or is it next Friday? I think it's next Friday. So we have one more meeting to get the last few documents in order. And Justin was provided one of those documents today, so I saw that came through.
Anything else?
I made notes, yes. The only thing I have is the Gary Crocker fundraiser for the 1856 Academy is taking place on October 3rd at Compton at 7 p.m. There are tickets available on my rec page. And there's a link available for that if anybody, needs to find it, because the way that my rec is set up, it's a little harder on your phone than on a laptop, but they're hiding under tickets. So, right, Mark, isn't that what we just found? General. And then you go to, and then there's tickets available, or you can just pay cash at the door. And we also have raffles from lots of generous donations of local businesses and families. And those raffle tickets are available, and we'll have them at the show and at Apple Fest. So that is coming up.
Anything else?
Mr. Chair, I would ask that we do a review of this,
Our meeting, next meeting.
at our next meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
With the town.
On the public comment.
I would just say that if you have updates on the TIF fund and what it's used, it should be a subject added to the agenda at some point, because then if others want to see it on there and want to come and find out about that, then it can be part of an agenda item.
I was thinking if I wrote something and put it in select board notes on Facebook from what we were given by at our last meeting.
Reagan, yep.
Yeah. Reagan.
Sure, sure, that'd be fine. And it's by no means a closed topic. It's an ongoing conversation. It was on our agenda for the Economic Development Committee meeting that we had on Monday. And we're meeting monthly, and people are welcome. I'm sure it's going to come up again. We did ask for more information because some of the data that we were using wasn't quite up to date. So, but we went through our list of priorities that were revised 2 or 3 years ago by the voters. And we're also cognizant that the fire department wants to come talk to us about the use of some of those funds.
Now, I'll try to explain. I can send it when I write for approval. You.
You just posted.
Any other public comment?
I just need some clarification. I know I brought up low-speed vehicles at our previous meeting. They are allowed as long as they're registered. We just asked the board to make an ordinance on it.
Actually,
The way I read the law, the only ordinance we'd have to make is if we don't want to allow them. So you should be fine on any roads that are 35 and under, as long as you're insured and registered.
Yep.
and
Okay.
meets the criteria of all the low-speed vehicles.
There's a whole list of criteria on the main state website for everything you have to
They
have.
sell them specifically, for that purpose.
These are, I mean, golf carts.
No, low-speed vehicles, so they can be golf carts, but they're the ones that have the seat belts, the headlights. They're not the ones you'd normally see on the golf course.
Right.
Blinkers.
Yeah, blinkers.
It looks exactly like my golf cart. It just goes a little faster.
They usually top out at 35. And the way the main law is written, they're allowed on any road that's under 35 unless the town has made an ordinance forbidding it.
Do we make an ordinance to not forbid it?
I don't think we need to.
Well, we don't need
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
We could,
I just need to purchase one and then have an ordinance saying we can't.
Well, I believe an ordinance would have to be voted on by the
Yes.
town in order for it to pass.
Okay.
So it's not like if you go out and buy one tomorrow, we're gonna pass an ordinance saying that you can't use it.
Of
It will
course.
take time.
and there'd be a tremendous amount of public input on the
Yeah.
ordinance that we might propose to the voters. And I would imagine, I mean, the direction that we are heading for ATVs and UTVs is a more permissible type of approach.
Okay.
We might consider making the two one and the same in terms of, you know, simplifying exactly where, you know, the motor vehicle drivers should expect them and should not expect them, which would mean there might be some roads that are 35 and under that we might say, no, we don't want a low-speed vehicle there because we're not allowing UTVs or ATVs there. On the other hand, we can get there when we get there. It's probably gonna be a while before we submit our information to the state to get permission to use Main Street, which is sort of the last connector.
Right, right.
In the meantime, if you've got a registered low-speed vehicle, you can drive that on Main Street if you wanted to.
And you need to have, like, you need to pass an inspection, like have a.
I think just registered and insured, right?
Registered and insured, driven by a licensed driver. And when you register it, you have to certify that it's meets all the criteria that specific, you know, it's gonna have side view mirrors and blinkers and a rear view mirror and, you know, headlights and all the safety things that you would find.
And that takes a license plate or?
Yeah,
Yep, they have one. And my parents have one in South Carolina and they love it. I've driven it, it's great.
Yeah.
No, you can't speed in it, you're golden.
and it's limited to 35 and
Yeah.
under. And actually would become an additional argument, and I realize I owe the ATV club a response because I heard back from Roberta and Dave with some initial language for what we're gonna submit to the Department of Conservation, Forestry and Agriculture. It wouldn't surprise me that we could also include something that says, look, we already allow low-speed vehicles on these streets. Why wouldn't we want to allow ATVs and UTVs as well? Because it makes a connection, makes a network for downtown Monmouth.
Anything else? Okay, on to consider an event application for Apple Fest. This is before.
So. What Reagan. Or Justin included it, so it's an event application for the museums, Monmouth Museums. For $2,895 for the Apple Fest event on the 27th, and the Economic Development Committee voted unanimously to recommend the approval. The advertising, entertainment, the band and carriage rides, children's events, and public health and safety, which is of course, body and that type of thing. So I make the motion, we approve the event application for Apple Fest 25.
I second it.
Was a motion by Chris, second by Ayla, to approve the application of the, for Apple Fest. All those in favor? Thank you. And next are, applications for the rec committee. And I don't know, do you want to take them?
I'd like to take them individually because there's one I'm going to recuse myself from. Exactly. So if we take them individually, that way I'll be able to recuse myself from one. So
Is there a limit on how many we can approve?
No,
No,
I
okay,
didn't
just wanted to-
exactly, because I think you'll make six and,
Yeah.
you know, if there was a seventh, that would be a great number for them. But I mean, with six, they'll be able to move forward. So.
The sixth one, I only.
We can have more later.
So it'll be the sixth.
We can have more
Sorry, sorry. It'll be the sixth one. She'll be the select board representative, so.
But she's the same.
Exactly, she's not on that, yeah. Although we haven't voted to approve her for that, but I think, you know, we'll make it an agenda item for next time, so I'll put that on our to-do list for next time.
So how do you want to discuss each person or?
Oh, I don't think we need to. You know, we pretty much know who Wade Morrill is. And so I make a motion to approve Wade Morrill for the rec committee.
Second.
The motion by Chris, second by Kent to approve Wade Morrill for the rec committee. All those in favor? Next is Parker
Well,
Furlan.
he's pretty suspect, but I think his father would vouch for him, so.
I make a motion, we approve Parker Furlan for the recreation committee.
I'll second that.
So the motion by Kent and the second by Chris to approve Parker Furlan for the rec committee. All those in favor?
Chris, you want to step away from the
I'm
table?
going to step away from the table just to make sure everybody knows I'm not.
Next is to consider Darlene Sanborn.
I move that we approve Darlene Sanborn for the Recreation Committee.
I'll second.
So the motion by Mark, the second by Kent to approve Darlene Sanborn for the rec committee. All those in favor? Next is Travis Fergola. He's a teacher.
Yes, so.
I make a motion, we approve Travis Fergola for the recreation committee.
I'll second that.
So there's a motion by Kent and second by Chris to approve, to appoint Travis Fergola to the rec committee. All those in favor? And next is to consider appointing Caleb McNaughton. He is,
Teacher as well.
I make a motion, we appoint Caleb McNaughton to the recreation committee.
I'll second that.
so the motion by Kent, second by Chris to appoint Caleb McNaughton to the rec committee. All those in favor?
Mr. Chair, can I amend my select board reports? There's one more item, action item that came out of last week's meeting that I was hoping we could have a conversation with the town manager tonight, but we can do it at our next meeting, which is the policy change that was recommended by our auditor. Our auditor recommended, had a recommendation that we change the policy about adjustments to the general ledger so that it involves two people and not just one for certain amounts, over certain amounts.
Yeah,
So we can get that on our next
Well,
meeting's agenda.
I'll put it on the list for requests.
I guess I didn't understand what you do, of course, what was needed.
Well, when you make general journal entries and you're making adjustments to your general journal, I mean, because I do it in QuickBooks when my CPA says, I want you to do this, or we'll do it together or whatever. So it's just a matter of sometimes moving things from one account to another, and everything's got checks and balances, but it's not like you're moving lots of money or moving, you know, big things around. There's usually a check and a balance to it, you know, so making general journal entries is pretty common in accounting, and it's usually to just get things from, you know, one account into another so that things are where they're supposed to be.
So, and this was never a recommendation before?
I don't know that there were a tremendous volume of general journal entries, and our auditor noted a couple of general journal entries he had no concerns about, but they were sizable enough that he said, you know, you really ought to have a policy and a second person signing off on this. So,
It hasn't been.
seems like a pretty straightforward type of policy, and, you know, it could be Justin and Lori both sign off on it.
Our accountant wouldn't do that, wouldn't be involved there.
It could be, I think he wanted to see a second town employee be responsible.
So we're on to, we're all saying that. You got that?
Yep.
So, on to warrant number 3 for,
Excuse me, is that correct?
Number
It's 3? We're in September already.
Yeah, it is 3.
Because it's,
Last time was 1 and 2, so.
why aren't we starting with warrant number 1 in the first meeting in July of the new fiscal year?
kind of. I don't know.
I don't know about the number, but I know that it was 1 and 2 last time, so.
Good question. There's another action item for the town manager at our next
So,
meeting.
I mean, it's always been 1 when new fiscal year started, and then
Yeah,
you went on from there.
I'll just ask, is
In
this
June, it was
number
always
correct?
26 and 27.
Right, and then be 2.
Number.
Depending on the
Yeah.
weeks.
So we may be just a little behind because the first one wouldn't be till the middle of July.
I just want to make sure you
Yeah.
know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll ask if that is the correct warrant.
But it's
number.
usually two a month, no? We usually do 1 warrant per meeting.
Yeah.
So we do seem to be out of sequence if that's the case, because we've had many more than 3 meetings since July 15.
Five, 56. Oh, well, that's wrong.
Well, the date of this warrant is September 11th, so.
Maybe we can identify that. We're gonna identify it that way. How about that?
Okay, so Central Maine Power, $5,130.54. State of Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles, $22,095.71. And then Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, $1,942.75 for a total of $29,909.24.
so strange.
Yes, very small, yeah.
Not a lot.
I'll make a motion that we pay the warrant for fiscal year 25-26 dated September 11th. Under suspicion, it might be warrant number 3.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mark. Second by Chris to approve the warrant that is dated September 11. All those in favor? Thank you. Any other business?
Mr. Chair, I think we should wait like 5 more minutes because we could set a record
No, it's
even if we
only
waited
1
5
minute.
minutes.
You can set a record right now.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second that.
All those in favor? This that you wrote.
Yes, sir.